Good evening and welcome back. Readings this week dealt with aggregation, distribution, and the social. And we had 4 key readings: Dodson, Boyd, Gauntlet, and Gregg. Now, each of them dealt with 3 key points in my opinion. And I think these 3 points can be summarized as follows. Firstly, embracing our inherent yearning to be an active, creative being. Secondly, adapting to changing time circumstances and the interests and thoughts of socials and communities. Thirdly, placing an emphasis on the collective, on various publics that have an opinion to reciprocate and receive information and actively reply. So I'd start off by a quick analysis of the Maker movement and Gauntlet's making and connecting speech. How he identifies 5 key points. I won't go through all 5, but I will identify the key ideas. So in terms of his first point, he emphasizes this notion that there needs to be a symbiotic relationship between the online and the offline realms, how there is one, how the internet helps connect people, but also people help build almost networks through the internet. And the fact that these online and offline realms are connected makes use, I quote, of the affordances and hence builds and strengthens networks between people. And that almost ties into a second idea about the spirit of the maker, of how someone through these networks has the potential to communicate, has the potential to connect with other people, hence the notion of a network. Thirdly, he focuses briefly, I guess I am going through this is the points. Thirdly, he emphasizes that people make things in order to, well, firstly, because humans are generally inherently creative beings, but secondly, because they want recognition from other people, that it's almost like a sociological approach that human beings are reliant on the approval of other people. That's just an inherent characteristic. Fourthly, he emphasizes that we take small steps, that we can't expect to create a new big thing every year. We can't expect every single person in the world to create a new big thing every year. In fact, quite the opposite. It's almost like he analyzes users and makers as a team, and he asks very little of them each, but as a collective, they can change the world. It's almost like he takes steps beyond that of a regular consumer to become an active participant, which is quite interesting. Furthermore, he focuses on the notion of making, appreciating that craft that people use, but then using the internet almost to see how we can progress the craft, make it better, but also try to do so without sacrificing the quality of that craft. You can't have a Mona Lisa painting being painted on the internet, or can you? He argues that is the challenge that we face, and that is the direction that these are some of the considerations we need to take into account as our technology progresses, how we can also benefit our craft through that. But then I'd like to also move on to Melissa Gregg's online branding and evacuation of friendship article, where it almost discusses these maker points with regards to the context of convergence, social media, and a changing time period. So we take into account the establishment of Web 2.0 and 3.0 and how entrenched institutions have been reinventing themselves in order to satisfy this era of convergence and collective intelligence, which has been so pushed forward and almost bolstered by the internet. And if we were to even apply Dana Boyd's 2009 speech at the Web 2.0 conference, you'll see that she actually emphasizes this active role of users. She emphasizes and she draws upon Spivak's flow metaphor, arguing that we live in a stream, that we add to it, we consume it, we redirect it. It very much hinges now upon the powers of the user through the internet, through increased access to things, and through a greater concentration on the interests of the user. Dodson would summarize this, I'd argue. He almost puts this together and argues that this is almost called the systems age, a place where we've sensed, collected, manipulated data, almost so with little to no human supervision. So the questions I would ask from this is this beneficial to quality, the quality of maker of what Gauntlet would describe as a maker movement? Is this beneficial to quality? Is this beneficial to society? Is there a good purpose to this? These are some of the questions I'd ask and keep note of within this analysis.